Good morning, everybody. I think it's morning. I'm still a little bit on vacation mode, but I decided to, get back in the swing of things. If you hear a cat yelling, Percy hasn't stopped yelling at me since I got home. And he's at the door saying, "Dude, what's going on?"
Oh,
So I am here with my friends Julie, Amy, and David, and we are working on something. And the reason why I say something is because we're doing the Kona block of the month, and the local quilt shop that Amy and I go to didn't have all of the fabric kits for May or June. So instead of having to keep tabs of what they gave to who, they gave us July. So that's what Amy and I are working on. I believe Julie said she's still working on May, so we will have something that says this is what May looks like. And David is working on something else, but he's got May's block done. So we're just going to go on the fact that he's working on May. That's what we're going to say.
mhm.
So, Julie, where are you calling in from and what brought you here?
Hello, y'all. I have missed everyone. I'm from Arkansas. And Russ, we're so happy to have you back. Even though we all feel like we're in a different mode, I am I'm going to go ahead and continue with May. Hopefully I'll get that done. And I'm just happy to be here and get back in my sewing mojo.
And Amy, tell us a little quick blurb.
Um, it's just been a little bit of chaos around here, but I am working on the July block. I'm picking out the colors and maybe I can get some of the half square triangles done while we're live.
That's Yeah, I didn't start anything until this morning, and I don't feel like I have enough done of prep, but we'll get there. David, what's your like 10-second blurb?
Let's see. I'm in New Orleans right now, and um, just quilting away.
Quilting away. Nice. So I have been on vacation mode in Massachusetts. Things are a mess. I came home to no internet
Oh
because
no.
apparently the transformer blew. I don't remember what time my neighbor said the transformer blew, but it was out long enough that one of my UPSs decided that it didn't want to turn back on. So I had to go manually turn it back on.
Oh wow.
Once I did that, everything was fine. But I was like, why is my internet working? I couldn't get some of my because I walked in, Percy's yelling at me, where have you been? What's been going on? And I totally surprised him because I had to come in the front door. And that's where my neighbor had been coming in the past few days. He would have known it was me if I had come in the garage door like I wanted to. So I snuck in the front door. I come downstairs and I start petting him, and he just looks up because he was napping, and he's like, "What the heck? Where you been?" Blah, blah, blah. And then all I hear him yelling.
And lots of puppy kisses.
Uh, Percy, not puppy kisses.
Well, Percy kisses.
Percy kisses. Yeah,
That's what I meant.
yeah. He did not stop yelling at me. He
Aw.
continued and yelling. I finally, managed to get upstairs, get myself settled in. I've missed my bed so much because my sleep number bed is a lot more comfortable than a couch mattress that's about that thick.
Oh wow. Yeah, we
Uh,
spoiled
and
it.
then sometime in the middle of the night, he decides just to walk all over my face.
Hmm.
And I'm like, dude, that was not fair, not cool. Why'd you do that?
He's
And
punishing you.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
get Riley until tomorrow because
Oh, okay.
daycare is closed today. And well, they have people there, so they are taking good care of the pups, but they're not doing drop-offs or pickups today.
Yeah.
And
Well, he's in good hands.
yeah, she is definitely in good
Or
hands.
she. I get them all mixed up.
And puppies and kitties are puppies and kitties. I managed to find her a few times on the daycare cameras while we were in Massachusetts, because every time everybody's like, "Where's your puppy?" And I pull up,
Oh.
like, and most of the time it's like she's somewhere in this pile. But she was in a kennel that was very easy to see on the camera.
Oh, that's good.
So when she was in kennel mode, I was able to find her very easily. And I would show folks and say, look, this is her. And there was one morning, it was before the kennels got dropped into the playroom. I saw her just politely sitting in the front of the kennel saying, you know, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I
Oh.
screenshot it, sent it to my sister because she hadn't crawled out of bed yet. She was awake, just not crawled out of bed. And by the time that I got back to the cameras, she had gotten out of the she was let out of the kennel. So I moved to the playroom and I just saw her bolting to the back door because I'm sure she had to go outside, go potty.
Right. Now that's where she goes for daycare too, right?
That is where she goes for daycare.
Okay, so they're familiar.
She loves the folks there. The folks love her, and they are very well prepared for the doggos there. So
Provided she stays out of trouble.
yes, as long as she stays out of trouble, she has been known to, you know, bite tails, bite butts.
Oh, she's playful.
I had to pay a portion of a vet bill a year and change ago because she decided that she wanted to bite somebody's butt.
Was she just playing though? And she
Oh, it was all just
playing.
playing. Well, no, that one she decided to insert herself into a little spat.
Oh,
Two doggos were having a little bit of a spat, which is why I had to pay half the vet bill because the other doggo had to pay the other half vet bill.
oh wow.
So in
Sounds
the
like
chat,
she
we
was trying to
have,
break up the fight.
that's my opinion of what she was trying to do. Knowing her, she was just inserting herself in because she's like, oh, look, we're going to get aggressive. I'll be aggressive. Be aggressive.
I had a large dog that he liked to hunt and go after animals in the backyard. And then my little pitty that acts like Riley, you know, she acted like Riley does. She would get upset because she knew that you weren't supposed to go after animals. So one night he went out and he got after a possum and she was running, charging at him and headbutting him in the butt. And then she'd run back to the house and bark at me. And she's like, Mom, Odin's being bad. You know, and then she'd run out and she'd headbutt him in the butt. And she's
Nice.
like, you're not supposed to do that. She'd get very upset.
So in the chat, we have this morning Balloonist who says good morning and hey, Julie.
Hi,
We have Charlotte saying hello, everyone. Colleen says hello, Russ, Julie, Amy, and David. I'm stopping in for a minute. I have to head to the post office. Colleen lives in Canada, so the post office is open there, not here. Good morning, Jen and Sue, who says good afternoon, Russ and all the quilters. And good morning, Candace, who has been, you know, sending me all kinds of texts while I was in Massachusetts.
Well, of course.
Luckily, she didn't enable me to buy anything.
Candace, you need to work a little harder, honey.
Oh, no.
I think he did that on his own.
I did that on my, I may have spent about $1,000.
Did we get to see?
Ooh.
It arrives here Friday, so yes.
Yay! So maybe Saturday.
And what's even funnier is I only went to 2 shops.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
So yeah, I just said I was going to go to just the 2 shops that I really like. I decided not to explore about. And the first shop that we went to, was called Bayberry Quilts in Chicopee, Massachusetts, and they, to me, are known for their kits. They take various patterns, so a lot of the what are those things called? Like the Villa Rosa designs in that.
Yes.
So they'll take the simple patterns and they will kit it up into a kit with the fabric that they have, and they will sell those kit. And their kits include the backing,
Oh, that's
Ooh,
nice.
which
nice.
makes that really nice because I can't tell you how many times that I have gone and said I want to buy something and then forgot to buy the backing. I may or may not be foreshadowing. So I bought a few kits there. That was where 2 years ago we found the 10-minute table runners that take me 45 minutes, and Fran turned me into her
Sweatshop.
what is that called?
Sweatshop.
Sweatshop.
Oh,
So this year she found a couple kits and she wants me to make a handful of quilts for her tax friends at work. And I'm like, you realize that that's going to be a lot of work, but thankfully the patterns that they do at the quilt shop are simple patterns. Like I said, they're Villa Rosa and simple ones like that.
right. I
So
like those patterns.
yeah. So when they arrive, I have to figure out how much fabric the two patterns or the two kits that she got used. So she can go out and buy more fabric for the other kits that she wants.
How big of ones does she want you to make?
I did not count that high. She bought two kits, but I think it's like 5 people she wants me to make kits or make quotes for.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, you
When
know,
does she want these for?
she has not said, so it's like, she'll get them in like 2029
Exactly.
Yeah.
because I still have to do the 2 more graduation quilts for next year.
Wow. Russ, you're
Which
busy.
the graduation quilts this year were a success. Like
Well, of course.
it was awesome.
Oh,
We got okay. There needs to be a word for this, and my sister totally agrees. Your cousin's child. What is that in relation to you?
your cousin's child.
Well, okay, that depends on which neck of the woods is it.
Yeah, in Arkansas, that's probably a whole nother meaning. What you were getting at, David.
I think the technical term is second cousin.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
that's
does
what I
that
was gonna
make,
say.
me like the second uncle? Like we
It's just uncle, but it's technically second
oh
cousin.
it's second cousin going both ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, we got to reconnect with him. It's my cousin's oldest son, only son that he has. And we were able to because I hadn't seen him since Nan passed away. And like Fran and Gigi hadn't seen him since 5 or 6 years ago. So there's been a lot of reconnecting and just getting to know him again and that.
That's awesome.
And he loved the quilt, which was the navy and green quilt that I made. And the first thing he said is, I'm going to enjoy bringing this to college, which
That
is the whole point of me making the quilts.
That just makes you feel good, though, when they're so excited to see that.
Oh, it really did. And he is apparently going to Rensselaer Polytech, Rensselaer College, something like that, for aerospace engineering.
Ooh, that's nice.
Ooh.
So that was exciting to learn that, there's that. But he had a whole bunch of questions with the family because he hadn't been connected to our piece of the family in a while. And there's issues between him and his father. And there's other stuff going on with him and his grandmother, which I lovingly call the Kant.
All families have issues, though. So
Oh.
some correction.
No.
This one's pretty special.
Yeah, David can attest that this is a little crazy, but
When you start sending Christmas cards out of spite, that's when it gets real.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's just it is what it is, and
Right.
but he had a whole bunch of just random history questions because he had never been able to get good answers out of anybody. And in my opinion, he's going to turn out to be an awesome young adult
That is great.
just by the little bit that I have gotten to know of him on Saturday.
That is great.
Now he lives up there now too.
Well, he's always lived up there.
Oh, okay.
He, without spreading all kinds of family drama,
Oh yeah, no.
ever since his parents split,
I couldn't remember if he lived up there still or not.
yeah, his parents split. I've forgotten how many years ago at this point. But his mom moved to Belchertown, which I could not identify where that is on a map. Just so anybody who's asking asks, it's somewhere in Massachusetts.
Just
I hear
follow
there's a lot of Belchers there.
Just follow the gas.
And because that's again far away from the rest of the family, it was just basically when either the Kant or my cousin wanted to see him that he was able to be seen. And then it got to a point where he didn't want to start associating with either.
Can't blame him there.
Yes.
So, like I said, it is what it is, but he's going to be a good kid and he's going to be young adult. And he's got some awesome aspirations for his career.
That's great.
And
he's not going to let the family drama drag him down.
Yes,
what he wants. That's great.
He's working on escaping the family drama.
Right. That's wonderful.
Which, the rest of us who were at my sister's graduation party basically said, we've escaped it because we don't want to deal with it. So you're welcome to escape it with us.
That's great.
Yeah. I was going to say, France should keep him out of it.
Well, I mean, his mom has done a great job, and his technically stepdad, but he calls him dad. So they have done a great job at helping keeping him out of the.
Good. Because that's hard up there with that.
Yeah.
Okay, these ones are actually right this time.
Yay! Now, when will Amy when will you and Russ turn that block in? Well, July, you'll have to turn that one in to get your next one, right?
Yeah,
When do you do that?
the first or third Saturday in June,
Oh, okay.
because it's still being this is still technically our May setup. So
Right.
we are treating this as May for everything except for in name.
Okay. Yeah. Well, at least we got something to do.
Well, I assume that we'll get back on schedule for the month of June. And then we'll do.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get June or if we're gonna get May in June.
Yeah.
Make,
I kind of hope that they'll hold the May one for July so we can, because when I turn my calendar, then I get to see what the colors are for the next month. So,
I think that's a good idea.
yeah.
Oh, you got the calendar with yours when you did it?
Yeah, I bought the calendar because I just liked it. I thought it was cool and I needed one for my room. So,
Yep, why not?
and there's
Jen
quilt
says,
patterns for every month,
Mm-hmm.
which is cool.
Like full size quilts? Or
Yeah.
just block? Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. See, I don't know that you can see it, but
I can.
the May, and then every page has a quilt, and there's a pattern for it.
oh, that's pretty cool.
Great. I really like these patterns that we're doing right now for these blocks of the month, because you could do so much with these. Like I'm doing, whatever month we're working on, I'm using the solids and then I'm copying it using my batiks.
Well, Russ and I were talking this morning. There's so much excess fabric that you could actually do a complete another one with the current stuff and still have enough for your piano keys. Oh, whoops.
Really? Oh, wow. I didn't
I mean, whoops.
Are the piano keys known yet?
Yeah, I have the pictures in the YouTube card.
Okay. Sorry.
I like that. Whoops. Were we supposed to say anything about that?
Yeah, because you only need so many of them, and you got
I think you only need like 70 or something.
Yeah, you only need 70 of them, so you've got so much excess fabric that it's just like you can still do a whole nother quilt plus those plus.
Wow. Kind of like what we're doing with the dragon fruit. We got.
Oh my word, we got so much for extra with dragon fruit.
But you know what? I'm using mine, the little itty bitty pieces. I've just been making crumb blocks and then saving the other pieces, because I think I'm going to make my back out of all the extra, just like a patchwork back.
Oh.
Yeah.
But do an after quilt on the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I love doing that.
I do too. Makes kind of like a second quilt.
Yeah, and I was just thinking if we do have that much excess, it would be cool to take all the colors and do like just a fade from the light to the dark down the center or kind of off center.
And do a patchwork on the back with that. That would be actually really cool.
Yeah.
Russ, how did we not think about that?
Because I'm still in vacation mode.
Because Amy thought of it for us.
Yeah.
Well, because we were going through stuff today about what we could do potentially, and that never even came up.
Probably because I've never done an after quilt.
It can turn out really neat. If you kind of think about what if you have like the leftover like practice blocks or a quilt that I made for my sister, I had all these fat quarters and stuff that went with what I used on the front, and then like just strips or whatever, and I sewed them all together and put it on the back of the quilt, and it turned out really neat.
Yeah. Plus, you're using up the fabric. It's not just sitting around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God knows that drives me nuts.
Oh, I'm not quite that organized. But
So
I'm trying
back
to
in
get
the
that.
chat, Jen says cousin wants removed or second cousin, she's asking. And I'm certain, as we're talking about, the word for it. So we're not certain. Katie Craft says, hello, everyone. Lurk mode activated.
Hi,
Good
Katie.
morning or afternoon, Katie. And Sue says he would be the first cousin once removed according to her genealogy friends. So maybe that works. And I am having major issues with my nesting, but I don't care at this point.
It really won't notice when you put it together with this
I
block.
know.
So that's a nice fortunate part.
I have never done really well with nesting. And so I got to where I just press all my seams open. It takes a little longer,
Yeah.
but I've had better luck for me matching points and things like that. So
I'm just noticing that some of my blocks are going to go ways that I'm not expecting, but part of that is because I didn't spend an hour before the live trying to make sure that I had everything going in the right directions. Because I didn't have an hour before the live.
Well, that's because somebody was whining.
Yeah. Percy just, where have you been? Where have you been?
Yep.
This crazy lady came into the house and touched me.
That's just like taking care of a human child.
Yep.
You have to tell them where you're going, what you're doing, where you've been. They want to know.
It was funny because I think it was Friday. My neighbor said that Percy didn't eat all of his food for like a day or two. I mean, he's eating, but he's not eating all of it. And I said, that's just a sign that he misses me. And she's like, yeah, I haven't seen him. And I said, he's hiding on the chair. And she's like, hiding on the chair?
Oh yes, that's fun.
So I told her where the chair was. She had thought he was hiding upstairs because she had seen him up at the top of the stairs a couple times. And the next time she went to go check in on him, and he was right on the chair. And he just looked startled at first when he was found.
Oh.
And just started purring when he started getting pets. So
Oh.
I was like, everything is all good.
You're right. When do you pick up your machines, Russ?
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Not soon enough.
Yeah, it's definitely not soon enough because I'm on my travel machine, which is a nice machine. But when I was doing the half square triangles, I was like, I can't see this well. And I'm used to having my laser pointer to help keeping everything lined up. So it's like, I want my machine back. I want my machine back.
That's going to be so nice when you do get them back. And hopefully they were able to program the preset you were wanting.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not concerned.
Right.
Which preset were you wanting to do?
Change my default stitch length to 2.0 from 2.5. It's not in the manual.
I thought that was a one that you could do it yourself, but maybe not.
It's not in the manual because I looked and looked and looked.
Well, you've only had the machine how long now?
5 years.
Exactly.
I mean, I've gotten to the point where I've gotten accustomed to doing the changes when I need them. So it's just sometimes I forget.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
you haven't done the foot pedal yet.
Yeah. I need to get that upgrade at some point.
They still have the multi-use foot pedal, the one with the extra one where you can have it programmed to do certain things.
What I'm probably going to do is do a pre-record for Saturday so I can get up to the machine shop early and ask some questions about, what kind of tools that, or what kind of, not tools, goodies they have for my machine, or that they can order for my machine.
Mm-hmm.
And say, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Laura says, good morning, everyone. I'm glad I caught you live. Lately, I seem to miss you. No, Laura, you haven't missed me. The past couple weeks, I have done pre-records because I was on vacation. Although Fran does not appreciate trying Vegemite.
That was so funny.
Didn't work so good, huh?
Oh, yeah, she's like, this stuff is gross. And I'm like, the one thing I forgot to mention is that she shouldn't be expecting sweet. She should be expecting savory.
Right.
I neglected to tell her that, so maybe that's part of why she didn't like it.
You probably did that on purpose.
But the name says it all, though.
Yeah, veggie is not a sweet thing.
No.
So yeah, it was very amusing. I ended up bringing it home because she's like, I ain't gonna try it, and I had it so far packed away that I couldn't get some of her friends to try it at her party. And I did it exactly like Sean told me, as little as possible. So, in fact, she put less on hers than I put on mine. And I kind of liked it. Jen said, so you weren't punished too much by Percy. Percy has been non-stop since I got home, and he walked on my face while I was sleeping last night, so I'm still getting punished. I will say it was really awesome that the first quilt shop that we went to, Bayberry, they remembered me by name, which, like, remembering somebody is one thing. Remembering them by their name is just a whole different level. The other shop that I went to was Valley Fabrics in Northampton, Massachusetts. And they have just awesome brights and stuff. And the other cool thing they have is they have a table of 1 yard cuts. So instead of saying, I need a yard of this, I need a yard of that, if you go look at the table, they probably already have it cut.
Oh, that's neat.
And they had some pretty old Tula up there too that I may or may have bought.
You know you did.
I was thinking the other day I need to sit down and go through my Tula and write down what ones I have. So that way when I go somewhere and see that they have old Tula or whatever still purchasable, I can remind myself that I already have it.
Probably be a good idea.
That would require you to be a fan of Tula.
Yes, that I am.
He ain't.
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, he has said that he can appreciate Untamed. So
Well, yeah,
that's a
see,
good start.
I'm working. This is my Tula I'm working with now, but it's
Oh,
like Tula's not my thing.
yeah. If I get, like we purchased the dragon fruit and a few other kits that are made with Tula, I'm good with. But just to buy it and know what to do, I don't. That was way out of my comfort zone.
I have difficulty figuring out what to do with it just in general.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I get terrified of, potentially cutting up the fabric and, getting half of a creature or half of something. But somebody, and I don't remember who said it in the past, basically said, buy like the 10-inch squares or the 5-inch squares and work with that, because at that point it's already cut up for you. So you're not going to ruin it even more.
That's true.
That's true.
I think that's one of the things I really love is that because I really like fussy cutting and pulling out that feature in the fabrics and things like that. And I think that's one of the reasons that one of the things that draws me to the Tula fabric is just the fun of creating by fussy cutting out something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
A lot of a lot of the patterns for her fabric, because I can't say she did the patterns because these weren't designed by her, but that's what they do is fussy cut. The Full Moon Forest 2 kit that I purchased, and I think Julie purchased too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot of fussy cutting with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll either learn to like it or that'll be the death of me.
And there was pardon my language, shit ton of triangles we had to cut with that.
Yes.
But when I realized, we can just break it down into smaller pieces, that made it feel a lot less daunting.
Yes.
Because I was terrified at first when I saw 1,200 triangles.
On Dragon?
No, in Full Moon Forest. And like I said, the good thing is we can tear it down to, just cut like 100 at a time, or maybe 50 at a time, or however many you can get from a couple strips. Because it's all the paper pieced flying geese that are in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know, I sent you a message and said, Russ, I think I'm way out of my bounds on this. And then when you sent me a message back and said, no, we can break it down, that made me feel better because I really thought I had went
Yeah.
way overboard.
There's a lot of fabrics and a lot of pieces, but you're not sharing pieces or you're not sharing fabrics from the blocks. So when you start cutting one of the fabrics, you can cut as little or as much as you need for what you're working on.
Right.
That's kind of like, I mean, this Kona block of the month, all these half square triangles. If I went to do this quilt like all together, I think I would probably not finish it.
Really?
Because it's, if you think about, because every block that we're making has half square triangles in it.
Yes.
And so if you
It's
went to
basically
do the
nothing
whole
but
thing,
square triangles.
yeah, I would get bored trying to make it all at one time because it's all these half square triangles and trimming them down and all of that. I think I would just get bored and stop doing it.
I agree with you.
But breaking it down to once a month, then it's like it's not that big a deal because you're just doing one block a month and you know.
Now, I will say there was something I saw at Belly Fabric that I did not get, and I am mad that I did not get it.
Don't they have online ordering?
They do, but minimum purchases for decent shipping and
Oh, Russ.
Never had a problem
Don't
with that
sweat the
before.
small stuff.
I will be back there next year and the thing is, the items that I was looking at, they're bags, and they were there 2 years ago. So I imagine they'll be back still there next year.
Okay.
Yeah. Are they bags that you make or a bag
No,
that's
they're
already made?
already they were Bernina color chart bags. So they're Bernina bags
Yeah.
that have a color chart on them.
Ooh,
Interesting.
that would be fun.
And I saw them and I was like, oh yeah, I remember these from 2 years ago. I need to grab one. And I did not pick it up in my hand because, and that was only because I had to use the restroom, which did not go as well according to plan as I had hoped.
The bathroom?
Oh, okay. I apologize in advance.
I'm like, how does the bathroom not go as planned?
This is going to be a good one.
Right?
How do I put this politely?
There's
I
no
knew where the restroom was, but I forgot the restroom situation. So I went to Fran. I was like, I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. So I headed where the restroom sign was, and I walked in. I'm like, this doesn't feel right, but okay.
Did you go to the women's?
No,
Okay.
it's much worse than that.
Oh,
You know how when you're at the mall or something, you go in and there's no bathroom door?
I don't think the women have that problem, do they? Like the men do.
There was like a little, just like in the mall, there was just that little, you go one way, then another way, and then you're in the bathroom. And they did have, the stall so that you had your privacy.
Oh, okay.
And I start going, and I get a text from Fran that says, I just heard you fart and sigh.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I was like, oh crap. Because I was doing a number 2. And I was like, crap, she's able to hear me.
In more ways than one.
Oh,
Which means, they can hear me.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay, let me quickly get out of there or get done. And then I started having the whole fear of what if the smell goes out into the shop?
Oh my gosh.
So I got out of there as quickly as I could and was like, okay, I'm just going to deny everything. And yeah, it got to the point where it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to be kind of quiet about this. I did not notice the smell float out or anything, but it was a oh wow, I can't believe I did that. And I see Jeannie has popped into the chat. I'm sorry, Jeannie, that you
Oh.
had to hear that.
Hi, Jeannie.
And then there is a yarn store called Webs next door, which also has a giant online presence as yarn.com. And I believe they were recently purchased or something by Missouri Star.
Wow.
If I remember the comments about some things that they were purchased by Missouri Star. That was back when Robert Kaufman got whatever done by Missouri, the bailout from Missouri Star.
Oh.
Stephen and Walter did a bunch of research and they mentioned that yarn.com was part of something that Missouri Star did something with.
Well, they're purchasing it all up.
Yeah. But yeah, Fran was like, I want to go to yarn.com or go to Webs because I hadn't been there yet. And I had taken mom there several years ago and was like, I can't afford to bring you back here, mom. So Fran went in there and she was looking at all the fabric or all the yarn and stuff. And she's like, I'm not impressed. And I said, I don't know what to expect. So I don't know if this is good or bad. I mean, they had very pretty yarn, very pretty yarn. But like I said, it's not something that I work with, so I don't know if there's a different type of yarn for what's the word? Afghans versus origami versus clothing and stuff like that. So I just saw pretty yarn.
So they have Missouri
Pretty
Star,
expensive yarn.
Missouri,
Yeah.
Missouri did not purchase yarn.com. It was purchased by a creation firm.
Oh. Well, then Stephen and Walter said something wrong at some point in the past, which is
Uh-oh. You're gonna
It
go get them,
happens.
Russ.
Now they did purchase Love Crafts, which is crochet patterns and knitting patterns. So that might be where they've gotten confused.
I just remember explicitly them saying yarn.com, and I made a comment that I've been to their physical store.
Now, does Fran crochet?
Fran crochets. She has
Okay.
done some gorgeous work.
Okay. So that's why she could say she wasn't impressed because she's familiar with.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
kind of
she
stuff.
she knows what she likes to work with and what she was looking for and stuff. So
there's definitely different types of yarn, and some types are better to make the blankets and afghans and stuff with, and also it depends on where you live, what if you're making like a sweater or something like that.
yeah, because you would want a warmer sweater for some climates and a cooler sweater for, Georgia if you want to look fashionable, as if anybody has ever seen me in a sweater.
Yeah. I think I tend to lean towards, if I'm not wearing a sweatshirt, I tend to lean more towards like a cardigan, you
Mhm.
know, over a pullover.
So Jeannie says Stephen will be back tomorrow for his so day. Tomorrow's not his so day. Wednesday is his so day.
Yeah.
But maybe Jeannie's meant that Stephen will be back tomorrow, so he will be back for his so day on Wednesday.
Okay. Boy, you talk about somebody that's going to have major jet lag. Whew. I'd have to have a week to recover first. But I'm ready to get back on track.
I needed, or I'm glad that I flew back yesterday because I definitely need today to recover.
Right.
And I have no idea even what I need to start working on tomorrow. I'm just going to spend at least half the day catching up with email.
Mm-hmm.
And our manager is out at least tomorrow and Wednesday because he made the comment that a couple weeks ago he had the window open and the breeze came in and he was upset that the wind wasn't salty. So basically the sea was calling to him
Oh.
because he grew up in Florida.
Oh, okay.
So he said that, we don't want to have two of the three of us off at the same time if we can help it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, well, I'll wait until Russ gets back and he's going to take a couple of days off because our other coworker is taking the entire month of June off for her sabbatical. She gets a 4-week sabbatical. So she gets the entire month of June off.
Aren't you there yet and with your time there?
I've still got 3 years.
Really?
Yeah. Because you don't get your first sabbatical until you hit 20.
Geez,
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I'm like, I've got 3 years left for mine. If I'm still there, who knows? Maybe I won't get one.
you keep up.
My husband is getting ready to take his second sabbatical.
Yeah, well, they happen every 5 years once you hit 20.
Okay.
I had thought that you got a 2-week sabbatical when you hit 15, but that was no longer in the handbook. So I don't know whether I just mistook something or if they just removed it with one of the acquisitions. But they, at least as of now, they are still keeping the 20 and then every 5 years after sabbaticals. And you have to have something that you're doing. So I have no idea what I'm going to officially do for my sabbatical. Part of me is like, maybe I should, do quilt retreats for my sabbatical or something like that.
That would be fun.
You hosting a quilt retreat would be a blast.
Yeah, I don't know if I could host, but
Russ, you have the patience for that?
I don't know if I can host one, but I think I could do the hosting. I don't think I can do the organizing.
You need to partner up with Candace. There you go.
Well, I was only
volunteered
thinking
you,
that if I
Candace.
did do something like that, I could see if I can, get Stephanie to say, can I, be a part of her retreats to do something like that, like teaching at a couple of her retreats. Because she does a couple of them that aren't that far apart. So maybe, I don't know. But I've got 3 years to even think about that, so I can't even start. And Candace goes, thanks, Julie.
Yeah, you're so welcome, honey.
I'm assuming, Candace, that that was the sarcasm that you were intending.
Mhm. Yes, she was being sarcastic.
No, I mean the sarcasm that I put in my voice.
Mm.
I have finally gotten to the point where I can put the 9 units together.
Yay!
And I'm pressing my half square triangles open so I can trim them.
Yeah.
Oh, I started with triangulations, so I didn't have, well, I had to do the trimming, but the trimming was a built-in step.
Yeah. The good thing about doing this live with you is, it pushes you to get started on the block, and then it's not the night before Saturday sampler and you're trying to get it done.
Mhm.
I can't tell you how many times I have done that where I'm like, crap, I have to get my block done.
Yeah.
So I work all day, go pick up Riley, get home, and say, okay, Riley, I hope you're exhausted enough because I got to go sew.
Yeah.
Well, it was like
And
everybody went on vacation, and I just kind of like, I thought I was on vacation, so I didn't sew.
Oh, sure. Blame us for a vacation.
Yeah.
Although,
I
of all the chances, I can just imagine it being how. What are the chances, basically, that 2 YouTubers go on vacation at the same time?
Right.
That's really what it is. So it's like, how do I handle this? And then for me, it's like, how do I stay up to date on all of the channels? Because
Mhm.
that was, I don't have my normal watching setup. So that getting that going and everything, I'm like, ugh. So I have a lot of catch up to do this week while I'm also trying to stay caught up on other channels.
And going back to work,
Yeah.
besides what you got to do on with other stuff, that's a lot. Vacation is fun, but it almost seems like
It creates
work.
more work.
Yes, it does. I'm checking to make sure I did this right. Oh, please tell me I don't have to rip. Yes.
And then the month of June is basically going to be spent transitioning one of our contractors off of our account and into our world, because we got to figure out what she does that we didn't know about so that we can take over all the stuff that she's been working on.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, I don't understand. And apparently my smart speaker thought I asked a question.
I was kind of messing around with what is it, Gemini on my phone, just because I don't, it's a new thing, and I'm trying to just sort of learn, like, what is this about? How does it work? But I was watching YouTube on my tablet at the same time, so Gemini would start talking to me, and it would hear the YouTube, and then like be like, "What? I don't understand." I'm like, please ignore that." It's like how much can I do at the same time? You know, it was
I
interesting.
hate when YouTube people or even some of the commercials use the wake word.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really bad because I was watching a video and it had said, "Did you know that your smart speaker can make calls on your behalf?" And then it said, "Smart speaker wake word, call such and such restaurant." And then all of a sudden, my
Oh,
smart speaker starts saying, "Okay, I'll call it." And I'm like, "No, no, shut up."
no.
And I gave that video a thumbs down and said, "Can you please in the future not use the wake word?"
Right. On mine, I have to say, hey, the wake word in order for it to wake. So that way it doesn't come on when somebody just randomly says it.
When I was still watching WWE, I had one of the Amazon devices,
Yeah.
and WWE had a female superstar that had the same name,
Mm.
and like they have it in their rules that the announcers are not allowed to say, "And she did this and he did that." They have to say the wrestler's name. So the smart speaker just kept trying to respond and said, "I didn't catch what you were trying to say." I'm like,
Oh,
"Because I didn't say anything." And it got to be very frustrating.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it took this long for me to remember to talk about it. My sister got upset at the prank that I pulled. So ooh, I don't remember if I said much on the YouTube channel, but I know I said it in the live shows that we've done, or maybe I even said it on like Stephanie's channel during one of our things, but I didn't do it on mine because I didn't want to be caught out. But, she infected me with glitter for Christmas. So, I had to do a little bit of payback.
Yeah.
So I bought little Jesuses to hide around our house. I 3D printed some frogs flipping you off. I 3D printed a couple middle fingers that were like crocheted, like they were crocheted. I 3D printed some male anatomy that looks like a mushroom. And and then like 2 or 3 days before my trip, I saw little plastic spiders. And basically, we're all arachnophobic. So I ordered those as well. I get to Massachusetts and I left the Jesuses at home. And I
Oh,
left, or I had the spiders on me. So I started hiding the spiders and everything else. But I also found on Amazon that I could order the Jesuses for next day delivery. So I ordered those when I remembered that I had left them. So I did all that while she was at work. And the first thing that I had in there was there was a little sign that says, "This sign is only a distraction." She walks in and says, "What am I being distracted from?" I was like, "I don't know." And then she started seeing, the Jesuses and the spiders and things like that. And she basically cussed me out because she's like, the Jesuses, hilarious. The anatomy items, hilarious. The flipping you off frogs, hilarious. I am not okay with the spiders. And she just, I mean, it was great. And she's going to be finding spiders for probably years at this point. And I think the funniest part is her father-in-law, who we all call Papa, thought that her husband had hit a spider's nest or something, and that's what all the spiders were all over the place for. And like she had other relatives coming to visit Papa all the time, and they started seeing it, and like they were just all icked out from it and stuff like that. And I'm just giggling and stuff like that. But yeah, so she is not happy with the spiders. Everything else hilarious. Spiders, not so much. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do next year.
Mm.
I thought you left something else playing.
Oh, I did leave something else, or at the house. I'm not talking about it yet because she hasn't found it yet.
Oh, okay, good. This one I'm waiting to hear. Is she on?
I don't know if she's on or not, so she hasn't shown up in the chat. She has said that she's gonna start catching up on my videos because
Good.
tax season is over. So she wants to catch up on the videos. And I don't want her to, know what else is hiding.
This one's a good one. I like what you did. Yeah, this one I have to admit is really good.
I have a coworker to blame for this one. Because he's the one who told me that it exists.
Good for him.
But I will say it's amusing that she hasn't made a comment about it yet.
Well, the question
You're going to be so in trouble.
Oh, I'll tell y'all when we get off the YouTube what it was.
I could just see her saying,
it's classic. Let's just put it that way.
There was also a failed 3D print that I left in the house too. She loves frogs, which is why I did the flipping off frogs.
Aww.
And I had found a 3D print of the statue of David, but the head replaced with a frog head. And it kept failing where the other arm's elbow is because it had to do supports and stuff. And I guess the printer that I have, which I cannot complain because it was a free printer, doesn't like to do supports that high, which that's fine. At some point I may get a different printer and then I'll be able to print it. But it's up to a little bit past the waist, so I hid that next to her pot that looks like said anatomy. I got to be careful what words I use on YouTube because, they are keeping tabs of the words I say.
Yeah.
And Amy, I don't know how you do first Saturdays if you usually do first Saturdays.
Well, I'm a night owl, so I tend to go always to the later one. And the later one is usually less crowded than the earlier ones. Because I don't know. I like staying up late and sleeping late. So, but yeah, if you go to the later one, like the 11:31,
You mean while I'm
then
on live?
yeah,
Uh,
I try to get to I try to go to like the 10:30, but I always am running behind, and it's a family trait.
Yeah, I did the 8:30 last month, and it was ridiculous. Just,
Yeah,
dealing
that's
with
too many people.
it was the quantity of people, and then dealing with the shop owner's voice. I'm just gonna say voice
Yeah,
that
yeah,
early. Like, she's
yeah,
sweet. I love her to pieces, but her voice can get to you that early in the morning.
yeah. I can see that. But
Not
yeah, and
hers,
then I
never.
try to go to first Saturday, and then knowing that if I don't make it in time,
Yeah, you've
I
got
can go
third
to
Saturday.
third Saturday.
Yeah, that would that I just prefer third Saturday because I know I can make third Saturday, except for the one or two chances that I can't. Good
Yeah.
morning, John from Geiscraft 2, who
hey,
hosted
John.
a quilting bee this morning. So yeah, I just know, like, I can make it unless I can't. And if honestly, if something comes up that I can't make it third Saturday for whatever reason, I have no issues paying for my block. I mean, if
Yeah.
if I'm only having to pay for one block out of the 12 for Saturday sampler stuff, I'm like, whatever, I can deal with that. If I have to
Yeah.
pay regularly, then I have more issues with that.
Yeah, because yeah.
But yeah, it was just way too crowded for me for first Saturday.
Yeah. I think the earlier ones are always more crowded than the later ones.
Because
And
everybody wants to get their block and go.
yeah, I think I have only I want to say maybe one or two times that I have gone where it's been ridiculously crowded. Um, like no seats to sit in crowded.
Uh,
Like that's too
yeah,
many people for me.
it was standing room only at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, no,
Mm.
no.
And we
I would
had
go eat
so many
breakfast.
show and tells. I was like, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So I finally have my block done.
Yay, I have mine done too.
Yay.
Here it is.
It's pretty. I like it.
Oh, I like that one. Now that's July, correct?
This is July,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that.
which is not May. So anybody who's watching this and expecting to see a different block, no, that's not what this is. Sorry.
I
And
can
as I
share
said
mine if
earlier,
you want.
it's because we got the wrong block. But Julie looks like she has May.
Yes, I do. Here you go.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I would have had fun with that because I could have made all my nest, my seams nest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'll tell you something. I say this every month, but how many of y'all would go and pick out these colors and put them together? I
Yeah,
would,
that is the thing is I
you know, and
wouldn't
I
have.
love it.
But then again, we haven't had the opportunity to have, an all blues from Kona or an all oranges from Kona. They've always just been a full rainbow in the charm pack to mix.
Mhm.
So Yeah, I think that this is awesome. They were able to put a whole bunch of the same colors together.
Yeah.
Amy, do you have anything that you can show or want to show, or?
I have my HSTs pressed. See?
Hey. You're one step
Oh,
closer.
I mean, that's one step closer.
Now I got to trim them. So, but hey,
You're sewing. That's what's important.
Yeah.
that's
And you're
right.
with us.
That's right.
And David, do you have something to show?
I do. So here's May.
Oh,
Ooh, I
that
like it on the
Oh.
black.
I love the contrasts with
That
that.
Yeah.
black just makes that pop. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then since we're doing July, mine's a little different.
Wow.
It's a little different, but you wouldn't know unless you
Nope.
looked at the pattern.
Nope. Exactly.
Because
That black is setting us off.
that looks like an awesome other stuff. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
so hopefully next month we will work on. We don't know what month we're working on because we won't find out
Thanks to say, Russ.
until Saturday. And I was kind of upset because they didn't put the July square up on the website. Or I'm sorry, the July, May, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
So when I was doing the YouTube card, I had to say, David, can you send me a picture of the square for July?
Right.
But we will be working on a block next month with the Kona block of the month. Which one it will be a surprise to us all. It may be
Yeah.
June, it may be May. We won't know yet. So it's going to be exciting to have what it is there. And I would look forward to sewing with y'all next month. Again, it'll be the last Sunday of the month, which looks like that's going to be June 30th or June 29th.
Okay.
So I will send you guys reminders of everything. So I hope everybody out there has an awesome rest of your day. Toodles.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.